What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Code with Kade. I know that all four of you that have been subscribed have really been waiting on this, but I want to give you guys an update, also give myself an update and kind of see where I'm at, see if it's where I want to be, and maybe fill you in on some direction that I'm going in. So, moving forward, let's switch scenes here. Let's go look at my stuff for November because I know it's been a little bit later. As you can see, from the 1st of November to December 22nd, kind of like a bell curve here. You can see I started very weak. I had some personal stuff going on in and out of the hospital, so I wasn't able to get as much done in these 2 weeks as I wanted to. You can see like towards the middle end of November, I started picking up, started figuring out some stuff that I wanted to um, do to the point where I made a lot more time for it. And then you can see it's kind of trailing off. This is this week. So I have a bit more time this week to kind of bump up these numbers, which I plan to. Um, so yeah, that's the time that I've been putting in. So since November 1st, you can see it's about 46 hours. Hopefully by the end of this month, it'll be around like 65, 70 from those 2 months. I know with October's months too, it's like if I hit the 70, it'll be closer to that 100 mark. So I'm looking forward to see what kind of effort I can put in and what kind of results I can get. A little bit of an update for what I am focusing on. You can kind of see a little bit here on this screen. Maybe you can't because of my camera. I'm focusing a lot more on C++. You can see I've done about 22 hours of it there. And then I've got a little bit more Python studying. I know you can see a little bit there for 13 hours. And this 4 hour and 15-minute mark is me just starting to kind of incorporate some Unreal Engine 5 lessons in there. So you can see C++ is primarily my focus right now just because I kind of figured out for game dev that that is one of the most universal languages that they want people to know, want people to have experience with. So I'm really putting in effort, and weirdly enough, I understand it more than I did Python. So I don't know if that really makes sense, but I'm just getting towards like some pointers and understanding that stuff. So I want to kind of show you some progress of where I'm at by showing you this program that I made. So I don't know if you can see it on screen, but through VS Code here, I did this all by myself. So I've been following this tutorial, but I haven't been able to like really do some of my own stuff. I've just kind of like made notes, made little side things, and this is my first code that I've kind of written by myself using everything I've learned. So I'll go through all of it, try to explain it so that I can make sure I know everything myself. And if you see some updates that you think you would do, I already think I'd switch out one thing, but I'll let you know. But if you see anything, feel free, let me know, comment. Any guidance is awesome. So we're going to go through here. IO stream is pretty basic. C time, that's just because I am using like the random number generator. So I need to plug in like srand and then time and then null to get like that whole function to work. If you haven't seen it by now, RPS, that's rock, paper, scissors. So we have two functions that we call at the top. There's a computer choice. There's a choose winner. You can see it takes two kind of char variables in there. This whole do while loop I probably could have fit into another function and really clean this up, but maybe I'll revisit that and kind of do a little update on what I get. But this is my first time writing this kind of code based off of like my own brain and memory, like barely referencing notes. So I'm pretty proud of it. We'll run it at the end just so you see. But pretty much in the declaration, there's two chars, choice and comp choice for the user choice and computer choice. There's an integer for played. We're going to set that to 0 at the start because you haven't played a game yet. And again, which is another char. So it probably could be a string, but I limited it to a char, y or n. So in a do while loop, I have a standard output which will pretty much intro the game, and then it asks you to make a selection, and it stores that selection as a choice variable. After you select that choice, that's kind of your commit to play. So your played integer variable goes up by 1, and we're going to get the variable for the computer choice through calling this function. So I don't need anything, like it's an empty function, just because it's simply like a random number generated. So you You can see in this function right here, I call it using the function srand time plugin null, which I guess 0 also works. Also declare a local variable for it. Pretty much the integer of num will be a random variable from a pool of 3, but plus 1, because if you do this, it just goes from 0 to 2, kind of on index values versus like the actual numerical value you're looking for. And then a few if statements that could probably be like switches, switches in cases. So like for if we did a switch on num and did all these cases, it would kind of select it. Regardless, you can see that if it's num, I just kind of try to do like rock, paper, scissors. So if it gets a num, the letter is going to be R. 2, it's going to be a P. S, it's going to be an S. And that's for that one function. So we call that up here. And then after we call the choose winner function, which uses 2 variables, which we supply our comp choice and our choice one, which was stored up here. This is where I'd probably do some switches and cases. I feel like it's a little bit too basic. Like when I look at this, I see like if, else if, else if, else if, else. It seems very like big, especially because like I just compared like every time you'd win, and then if you don't win, you lose or tie. So those are my 2 like else if and else. So you can see right here, like if the choice is R, and the computer choice is S, so rock and scissors, it'll tell you what computer picked, and it'll tell you that I win, the player. You can see that it goes through that paper and rock, the computer picked and paper wins. This is when like S and P, so you get scissors, computer gets paper, you win. Then there's the else if for a tie. So if the computer picks what you pick and that random number, then it says tie, draw again, but it still counts as a game. And then pretty much else, if any of this doesn't happen, so if you don't win, you lose. So that's where it says computer picked whatever it was and player lost. So we'll go ahead and run it because this is my first piece of showcaseable code. I have a terminal that you can kind of see in there. I wonder if I can clear this. Okay. Please make a selection. R for rock, S for scissors, P for paper. I'm feeling like a little rock guy, so I'll hit R. I do gotta edit this code, which is fine. A little moment of realization there. I think I know my problem. Yeah, I gotta revisit this code and maybe touch it up. But I know it worked the other day, which is kind of annoying. But you can see like shows like total games played. Let's see if I play again. What happens? I'm gonna pick S for scissors. I wonder why the player loses. I wonder if I take out this, doing some live, maybe because it's like not as specific for like this stuff. Okay, let's wipe this. All right, again. Okay, rock, paper, scissors game. Please make a selection. R for rock, S for scissors, P for paper. Let's try paper this time. Computer picked P, so it's a tie. We draw again. That one worked. Playing again, we're going to do R for rock, tied again. So played goes up by 2. Let's go again because I'm going to win. Paper. Okay, there we go. Computer picked S, scissors. I picked P for paper. So the player loses. Total games 3. Would you like to play again? No. Now I can see that this is kind of working good. So maybe I can switch this up by doing, instead of a bunch of if-else statements, like I said, I can make it easier to read by using switches and cases to compare everything. But we'll close this function. Regardless, this is my first piece of code for an update. And yeah, like I feel pretty confident up to this point. I've gotten the ability to understand functions, I haven't done much with it, but I've learned arrays, like two-dimensional arrays, and pretty soon I'm going to be working on pointers. And I'm hoping once I get a good foundation of this C++, I can start to do some intermediate advanced learning and incorporate that with some Unreal Engine 5, some gameplay development, so then I can eventually start making a portfolio, putting some things on there. And who knows, maybe applying for some internships. I would love to. I know I'm starting school next fall, but I feel like if I have a solid grasp of what I'm doing before I even enter it, I can spend more time on these personal projects that will hopefully stand out. If I were to pick my dream role, again, if you haven't seen that first video, it's probably going to be game development that I want to pursue. So for my portfolio, just because I love World of Warcraft, I'd want to do like a mini single player RPG just so I can understand like movement, quests, like AI for like spawning mobs and stuff like that. And I feel like I understand like bare concepts of it just by learning what I've learned so far. But with time and practice, that'll be one that I want to put up on the portfolio. I'd also love to do something which would benefit my current job before I leave it. I'd love to make some kind of like inventory tracking system based on orders he receives and production. So if you don't know already, I make ice cream. Um, we produce a bunch, we get a bunch of orders. We don't know exactly how much we have at any given time. So a program like that would be a lot easier and it would help technically. So I want to do that. But also like another game I'd like to do is probably something like a little 2D adventure thing. I feel like when there's a few different things you can put on your portfolio, especially with experience like C++ and Unreal Engine, but maybe even like Unity and stuff like that, it'll really round out that game development sphere. And who knows, maybe there's going to be some stuff I learn in school in that first year that'll help for game development. But yeah, this has been the mid-December update, so there'll be a bit more coming soon, maybe after the holidays. I know I'm going to put some work in, spend some time with family. And yeah, if you saw this, if you're the 4 people subbed, thanks. This is again more so me to keep some accountability for myself and kind of see how far I get within 1 year and kind of see the projects grow, the confidence grow, and hopefully the skill grow to the point where I'm able to turn this into a career. So thank you so much again. My name's Kade. Welcome to Code with Kade. And see you next time.